say that under check now. Okay, it's time to call the meeting to order. It's 5 o'clock. Has everybody got a copy of their agenda?
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
I do. I'll make that motion.
Motion by Steve,
I'll second.
second by Kenny. Any additions or corrections? Okay, if none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Everybody get a copy of their minutes and look over them.
Motion approved.
Motion by Kenny,
Second.
second by Donna. Is there any additions or corrections, changes need to be made? If there's none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Carries 5-0. Judicial Commissioner, you get to go first, David.
Okay, of course, January 2026, new year, new month, got the same problems. 130 warrants, 8 domestic assaults. We was down 14 orders of protection, so that's down somewhat. We had 5 GPSs that went on with the domestic assaults, 6 flood search warrants, only 6 juvenile petitions because school didn't get going good. Now we're starting to see truancies again. 40 information calls, 126 minimuses. We had to call families in crisis out 17 times. And out of 3 of them times, the orders of protection, people didn't qualify for them. Added a few extra things. The sheriff's department was on scene of some different crimes and called 3 times out to commissioners for advice. Spoke with the DA's office on a Sunday over a domestic assault with a grandmother, a daughter, and a granddaughter. Went to Bobby Ray Elementary for our same 6-year-old that was on in December for 2 aggravated assaults this time on the teacher and the principal. One of the OPs, the investigator had to take it on behalf of blood search warrants. 2 of them actually had to go to River Park to the ER to verify, and families in crisis was starting to get one of their members stalked by a person that had committed the domestic assault.
Hey, tell us about Bobby Ray, Jim.
Okay, we got a 6-year-old girl over there that I don't know what behavior problems or environmental or whatever, but she's been charged earlier in December twice. The one time she went running out of the doors, run straight out into North Chancery Street. Then this time here, it was after the snow days, and I don't know if she just didn't want to go back to school or what, but assaulted one of the special ed teachers and then the principal there by biting and spitting on them. From what I understand, when she got in court this Monday, she even got sort of pretty right up vocal with Judge Moore. So
Wow.
they were like, we're trying to get her services in the house and things to try to see if we can't get a correction going on.
Actually got a good home run.
Questionable. Heck, she just looked like, this greatest little girl here had on little overalls and her hair braided and everything else, like she wouldn't have said boo to you, but she's sitting there while they're talking to her and she's grabbing scissors off the table. So I don't know, So we're starting to see a lot of different things. And of course, I'm sure Chris can elaborate on that. We're getting younger and younger kids going into the system now.
Yeah, we are. Unfortunately, we'll probably see more and more. We're kind of a stagnant number on these families in crisis families around here. Just a lot of people need help. So, and I can't speak on I know about the 6-year-old. I can't speak on every actual problem.
I just think it's a bad situation and these kids are needing a lot of help. That unfortunately, there's a lot of services, but then there's not a lot for children as young as this girl is.
There's not a lot of teachers can do either of it.
You know, I think that probably, you know, I don't know what the school system will do, but they may even look at homeschool or computer school or something.
Yeah, when they start getting, some of these aggravated assaults and multiple assaults, you'll probably, and you've actually started seeing in the past couple of years, you'll start seeing more homeschool. There is hundreds and hundreds of homeschools now. It's not like it was when you had like 2
Right.
homeschools. It's ridiculous. I mean, they have, but for some kids, that's just the route they're gonna have to go. And it's, I mean, you keep digging into it, it keeps going for a couple generations, but that's what you're gonna start seeing. But it's unfortunate, but these assaults are getting a little bit ridiculous. And they're kind of true assaults. They're not like, you know, think because a 6-year-old won't hurt. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, they could easily, you know, hurt somebody. So, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. The hands are tied. This one's different like it was when we were kids, where you get paddle and stuff, and you just can't, and it's just rules have changed, man. So
I'll tell you what, it would have been awful when I was in school. If I'd done something like that, you would have went to the principal's office, and then you'd have got disciplined there after the teacher had done discipline. And then you'd be hoping they'd just let you stay there because,
Right. I wanna go
Parents.
home.
no, I wasn't wanting to went home. But what did the parents say in this situation? I know you're limited how much you can say.
Well, the mom, you know, just said, I'm doing all I can do. And that was about it, you know, I mean, just kept repeating that. And of course, Miss Mullins was out there with the youth services, and she's like, she just come in here to get this petition served on you and threw a fit, and you let the teacher handle it, and you did. So there's, you know, sort of where.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, she may be the grandparents may be having to raise her right now too, so.
Yeah.
Chris, as far as resources and stuff like that, is that something that, I mean, globally, that the state has that, or counseling services that are available, or behavior modification, or whatever those.
they're there. I mean, to be honest with you, this particular one actually has that stuff in place. It's just, and there's other stuff too. There's some true mental health stuff going on that they're figuring out, not with the kids, but the family part. So it's just one of those situations where they're going to need ongoing help, and it's got to find the right ones for she would get in a lot of trouble. Yeah, some people think because you've cut out services across the state, we don't have. I'm gonna be honest with you, Warren County has a lot more services than other counties do for population. It's just increasing, man. I mean, the ages is went down. I mean, my kindergartners to 3rd graders are starting to pass my high schools with these assaults and stuff. So it's just the way of the world, man. I got my own opinions about what caused this, but I don't go to church on y'all, so
To our visitors, Chris works for the public defender's office, so he sees both sides of this.
And there's sometimes too that we represent some of these people, so I can't speak a lot on a lot of it, so, or we could potentially do them, so I kind of get kind of a blanket statement.
David, the blood search warrants, did they refuse to give it, or they had to?
Okay, a few years ago, the state of Tennessee adopted what several other states did. They used to have an implied consent form. If you sign off on it, we don't have to go get a blood search warrant. Well, a few years ago, somebody took it to court and said, hey, if you're that intoxicated, you can't operate a motor vehicle. Are you intoxicated in too much where you couldn't understand what this form is?
Yeah.
So at that point, the state pretty well adopted. You come and ask for a blood search warrant on every DUI that you've got. If they sign the implied consent, then that's great. We just tell them, well, we have this blood search warrant in case you don't want to sign it. Now in the state's eyes, if you don't sign the implied consent, then you're automatically going to lose your license for a year, even if your blood comes back that you wasn't under the.
Yeah. We was out there that night when they had first passed that, and Mark said that the blood search warrant is just like any other search warrant. As you said, it's just like kicking the door down to get, you know, something, but on the blood search warrant, if they have to, they'll handcuff you and then take the blood.
They can forcibly take it, yes.
Okay.
Which, you know, me and the former sheriff, Buffini, had a long talk about how much force could you really use. And he's like, well, they've not limited how much, you know, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
But normally we don't have to go to the ER with them. But these two people here was involved in an accident, so it was easy in circumstances to go over with blood at the hospital.
Well,
But
they-
both of them were very cooperative. So.
Okay, good. That was my next question. Okay, does anybody have any more questions for David? So our visitors have any questions?
With the 6-year-old, I guess it's gonna be a touchy because if you try to go after the parent, then it's a catch-22. Could the parent go after the kid behind closed doors in the house? So
This whole case is a really tricky case, and it's one of them things that it's gonna be a whole lot of hands that's gonna have to be put together to try to help out the child, the mother, and the grandparents on helping. Because we're getting a lot of children there, and I don't know if this parent was under any kind of influence when she had the child or not, but that's becoming starting to be a big problem on a lot of the behavior issues in school is that the environmental and addiction issues that children are being born with that they can't help.
I make a motion.
One of my girls come home, she's in kindergarten a long time ago. She said, D. She said, you whoop me, you can't whoop me no more because I'll tell my teacher on. And, the teacher files understand that, I don't understand how that works. So what's the parents gonna do?
Well, in the state of Tennessee, and Chris can tell me if I'm wrong, you can still whip your child. You cannot beat your child, but you can give them disciplinary whippings.
Yeah, and it has to be an area where, like I used to call disciplinary, so spank them on the butt. You say use your hand to spank them or whatever. It needs to be on the butt. It can't be like, can't have a spot on the butt and a hit on the neck, and then we're in trouble.
Yeah.
It's just totally
So they
different
have
from
one
what
where you can actually whoop them on the ball.
You can spank them on the bottom and you're fine.
appropriate discipline, but like I say, that, I'll be honest with you, that'll go from, that can go from cop to cop, county to county. Like it just has to.
Very
be-
subjective.
And it is, and the reason why is because you had a group of people 2 decades ago or longer who just took it out of hand. And, but at the same time, that's also how they're getting all these true abuse cases, is because people for over time just use their kids, just being honest with you. So it's a catch, but it's one of those things that you gotta take case by case, because there are a lot of kids that get abused, beyond measure. So that's kind of what we're about. The fix for it, I have no idea, from a legal standpoint. So.
Okay. We got a motion by Donna.
I'll
Is
second.
that a second? Second by Kenny. Any more discussion? There's none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, David. Next report from the codes officer.
So y'all got a copy of the permit report and the environmental case report. We issued 26 permits last month. It's starting to kind of pick up steam again, now the holidays are over. We got the outstanding balance there, you know, as we talked about last month. From now on, these permits will be voided if they're not paid. So this was printed for the comptroller a couple of days ago before the first.
Yeah.
On the 31st, I think. They've been voided now. But yeah, I mean, this is probably the biggest outstanding balance I've seen permits ever. So it's kind of funny that we decided to start voiding last month. But as of this report, it does show an outstanding balance. Come next month, that'll balance back out. to
So they'll
zero.
come back out, yeah.
While we're on the building code side, we did go through the audit. I have to, so now basically what it boils down to is through my software, we've kind of got too much control over. In all reality, I can, or somebody with access can go in there and mark something as paid without being paid, or delete a permit completely out of the system. Not that we've ever done it. The comptroller caught that, and so now we have changed to where the only way to delete a permit out of the system, period, is we have to call iWorks. I removed that capability from myself through the software company. It was either that or we had to go through all this paperwork, and y'all know me, that's not my
Yeah.
style, so I'd just rather not be able to delete them. So there will be, moving forward, permits in here that might not even have information completed on them. Somebody might have, submitted a half filled out application, and it's gonna be voided, but it'll be in there.
We got two commissioners from Budget and Finance. Would you care to go ahead and explain? I don't know if they've heard about the deal where we had to void some of the permits,
So last month, the comptroller, kind of to the same point, we've pretty much always carried an outstanding balance on permits that have been submitted for and not paid for. And for the reports that they want me to generate, they don't want to see that outstanding balance. So we voted last month to where we are going to start voiding permits after 30 days of no payment. It just makes it cleaner and easier for when they come and want to see reports, because if there's no payment, they start asking why. And why is this permit in the system? Why do you have an outstanding balance? So the easiest way to do it was to just start voiding them in the system after 30 days. And it was either that or me do 6 other pieces of paperwork, and it just seemed like the easier option.
Yeah. Okay.
I see it as, it's way easier to come in and resubmit an application than it is for us to have to, jump through all these loops to keep the book straight to appease the comptroller.
Yeah.
But with that being said, usually it's not an issue, but it's just coincidentally this month, here we are with a $2,900 outstanding balance. So it does come up from time to time.
But that'll wash back out next month.
Yeah, honestly, most of all that outstanding balance on this month is the same guy. And I think it might have just, his secretary might be getting a little bit of a butt chewing over this one, because he builds a lot of houses in the area. It ain't like he's not going to pay for the permit. It's probably more or less something in the process on his end didn't get done right. And he's not going to be too happy when I tell him, but moving forward, he'll make sure it happens.
Well, they would have to pay for it sooner or later, so.
Right. And it's one of those, he comes in here and pulls sometimes 10 permits at a time. He don't necessarily plan on building them right then, but he just gets them all done while he's, at it.
Yeah.
So probably, like I said, one of his office personnel forgot to send the payment.
As the weather, is the amount of people getting permits, is it down right now?
Inspections are super slow right now, you can imagine, with all the weather. It seems like permitting last week was as normal. This week, I don't even know if we've issued a permit this week.
Yeah.
But usually it's weird in my line of things. A lot of times the permits and the inspections don't line up. It seems like when I'm the busiest with inspections, permits are slow, and vice versa. I think, a lot of it's these people wait to see what the market's going to do. They come in, they buy a bunch of permits at one time because they just bought 10 lots and they're going to build spec houses on every one of them. So I get this influx of permit applications, and then permitting slows down because they've all already applied for the permits that are going to be needed. Well, then 2 months later, when all the foundations are being poured, I'm not getting any permits in, but now I got all these inspections I got to do. So it seems like we're been pretty solid on inspections. I get in with I joke with her all the time. She keeps me real busy in the morning. She's real good about putting 10 inspections on one morning, and then it seems like I don't have none the rest of the week. But I don't really know, if it's reflective of the market in Warren County or not. It seems like we ain't slowing down overall at all.
On the environmental, some of these people, you started taking them to court, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't mark any of the new ones pending court because I haven't seen a copy of the docket yet. I want to make sure, but we do have 7 of them are going to court on March the 2nd. We got a court date on March the 2nd, so I can get you a list of the ones that are going to court. I just didn't want to mark them in the system until I seen the docket. You know,
Yeah.
it'd throw me all off if one's marked one way and it actually didn't go to court. So. And the dockets usually don't get posted, I think, either the week before or 2 weeks before. I know they're in a docket right now because I looked yesterday actually. So, but as per Robert, March the 2nd, we got 7 going to court. Those are 7 that really need to take.
How long have they been pending?
It'll just depend. No, let me
Well,
see.
what's the oldest one?
I know which one I'm looking for. I just gotta find it. Well, the oldest one in the system right now that's going to court has been, they issued their notice of violation on 4/21/25, so April of this year. And they're just going to court. Now, I have some that are, you know, having some legal battles per se that have been in the system for a minute, like we've been going back to court. But as far as one getting issued a notice of violation to get to court, no,
Yeah.
one was in April. We got,
Schedules get more routine,
I think it seems,
right? You get more, because it used to be, we had, last year it was like a month before we got, now it seemed like every past few months we've been able to say you've been in court, we got, at least you know the court date's coming out, March 2nd, stuff like that.
and I've been, you know, making sure my emails and my missed phone calls on Robert's phone are always at the top. You know what I mean? He's a busy man that kind of keeps him busy, but he seems
Is
pretty
any of-
motivated.
I got a question. Is any of them lawyer up and fight it? Or they just,
Typically, I haven't seen one lawyer up yet. I think that's coming. I think we're there now because we have a default judgment on one property that's, like I said, it's been in and out of the court. I don't actually know if they're on the 2nd or not, but we have a default judgment to go clean the property up ourselves, court ordered now. And I say the moment that we start that process, they're going to lawyer it up. So we'll see how that plays through. I'm waiting on I think we've talked about it. I'm waiting on basically Robert to write a letter saying that we can use either county assets or we have to put it out for bid to go clean out the property. But we need a legal opinion on what's the best way to move forward.
Yeah.
But I think last time I talked to Robert, he's gonna take them back to court and maybe see if we can remedy this without going that measure now that they know we mean business. But
Yeah.
I thought they knew we meant business last time. So, you know, I don't really know how it's gonna shake out.
You think you can get them done in 6 months?
That's what it's looking like. About 6 months is kind of where I'm at. There is one that's in here that it don't show that it's owed,
Mhm.
but it is an old case, and that was the Caldwell property. James Caldwell, you know, he passed away tragically, and so we basically had to issue a notice of violation to the new defendant, which is his wife who inherited the problem.
what part of the county is
That's
that?
on Mulligan Road, right off the 4 lane there. We had him, I'd say that case specifically, we've been dealing with it for way longer than a year. But I mean, circumstances, we didn't have a choice. I tried to give him a little bit. Once I heard he passed, I knew what we were going to have to do, and I knew we were going to have to start over per se. And I didn't want to be the guy who, you know, sent a widow a notice of violation in the mail. I think I kind of bought her about 3 months before the neighbors started calling me again, so
Yeah.
I had to do it.
That was decent.
Well, here is a case from December of 2024 that it says
Clements
it's
Road?
pending in.
That's the one I was talking about. That's the
On
one.
Clements Road?
Yep, that's the one that we got a default judgment on.
Got
We can
it.
go from there.
Okay, thank you.
And the 5160 Old Nashville Highway, this would be in Mr. Taylor's district over there. That one's the biggest mess I've ever seen in my life. It's, and all legal terms, there's a squatter in it. For lack of, I mean, basically, the house has a lien against it from NHS, is that the?
And actually,
NHC, okay. Well, NHC has never came to claim the property. The owners of record say that they can't do nothing with it because NHC has a lien on it, and there's 3 sisters that have basically inherited this problem, and one of the sisters' sons lives there, and then the other 2 sisters can't kick her out.
Is this on the left on
Yeah,
Nashville Highway?
it's on the right. It's right before you get into Old Center Town, right there on the right. Can't miss it. There's a couple vehicles painted as Dukes of Hazzard, and
It's a disaster.
it's a mess. And that one's way out of my hands.
That's within the city of Centertown, though, ain't there?
It is, and we have a written agreement with the city of Centertown that we enforce their environmental codes. But that one's way further than what I've given it to Robert. We have taken them to court. The court is when we found out all this information. I actually had 2 of the sisters there for 2 different properties, and we had the 3rd sister there for this property. It's weird how that works out, but yeah. So I mean, once that all came out and open, I haven't heard nothing about it. To be honest, I actually need to pick Robert's brain on that. There's nothing I can do for sure. You know, that one's like spaghetti. You know, I don't even know if we have the right defendant.
No, my
We
goodness.
might be taking NHC to court. And good luck with that, you know, so, I will get into that though. I'll see if we can get some answers.
I would like to see that. Need to pull up that, where they took the lawsuit against them, because usually the nursing home doesn't take them to court. The state pays the nursing home. I went through this with my mother,
And that's kind of what I caught,
you know.
Robert and them talking in the courtroom, but I didn't make no sense to me.
You know, like if you can't afford to pay the nursing home when you go in there and you've got property, the state will take a lien against your property and they will pay the nursing home. They get a discounted rate. But they will pay the nursing home has to get paid one way or the other. And they can't keep you.
I don't know how that'll work then. That'll be even worse because now we'll be taking the state of Tennessee to court.
Well,
I mean, in all reality.
yeah. The state usually wants to sell something nowadays as soon as they take it.
But it would be their inherent problem to deal with the property until
Yeah.
they do. I mean,
Yeah.
so, I don't know.
Yeah.
The same man that lives there, he had the same problem over on New Medley Road. He had a disaster over there too.
And, you know, that one's kind of that point that it's out of my hands. I mean, I guess I do need to check up on it, but.
Yeah.
I think if I had my best guess, the county attorney kind of knows it's gonna be a mess and he's kind of putting it off himself, so.
Okay. Anybody got any more questions for Cole? If there's no more questions, do I hear a motion to accept his report?
I'll make a motion.
A second. Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? None opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Who seconded that? You? Okay, now we come to the public comment part. Anybody got any public comment? Caleb, you got anything? Okay. Just checking. Susan, did you have one? Okay. No public comments. Okay, any other business needs to come before this committee? Everybody's awful quiet. There's no other business. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll say.
Steve and Donna. All in favor say aye. Motion 5-0.